All right, everybody, welcome back. We are jumping into another deep dive today.
Yeah.
This time we are looking at the Penn State quarterback situation.
Oh boy.
Drew Allar got hurt during the Wisconsin game, and nobody really seems to know exactly how bad it is yet.
Right. And so much is riding on this.
And this is why we're doing a deep dive.
Yes.
We're going to look into what exactly happened. How serious does this look, and how worried should Penn State fans be?
Right. I mean, this is a guy that's being touted as a Heisman contender and a potential first-round draft pick.
Huge expectations for him this year.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people are even comparing him to, like, some of the all-time greats that have come through Penn State.
Yeah. And, you see flashes of that talent.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you remember that game against Ohio State last year where he came
Oh, my gosh.
in the fourth quarter, led them back, and they won. I mean, talk about making a statement. So, yeah, there's a lot of weight on this guy's shoulders. And so...
And on his throwing shoulder, potentially.
Exactly. And that's the big concern right now. So we don't have a ton of information to work with.
Right.
The coach has been pretty tight-lipped about the whole thing.
Standard coach speak.
Yeah, they don't want to tip their hand to any upcoming opponents or anything like that.
Right.
But from what we can piece together from, various reports and things like that, it sounds like it happened sometime in the third quarter of the Wisconsin game.
Right.
He took a pretty hard hit.
Yeah, he went down hard.
And had to come out.
Yeah.
And hasn't been back in since.
Yeah. I mean, and, they pulled him out right away, which I think is a good sign.
It could be.
That at least they're being cautious.
Right. It's better to err on the side of caution in those situations.
Especially with a player of his caliber.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to risk further injury. But it's also, the fact that they haven't given us any updates.
Right.
Maybe makes you think that it could be something a little bit more serious. Maybe they're still...
And they're letting on.
Doing tests or trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So right now it's really just a waiting game.
Right.
But the speculation has already run wild, of course.
Yeah. Message boards are blowing up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got everything from people saying he'll be back next week.
Right.
To people saying his season is over.
Right.
And everything in between.
And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
But, it's tough to know for sure.
Yeah. And that's why we're here to try and, make sense of all this.
Yeah.
So, what I think is helpful is if we take a look at Penn State's schedule. Okay. And, because the timing of this couldn't be worse, really.
I mean, they
have got some really
big games coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at November, they've got Michigan and Ohio State back to back.
Oh,
I mean, those were already going to be tough games with a quarter.
Right.
I mean, without him.
I don't even think about it.
It's a tough road for sure.
Yeah. And it really makes you think about...
It does.
How important a quarterback is to a team.
Especially a quarterback like a Carter.
Right.
He's not just, a game manager or something like that.
Right.
I mean, this guy is...
He's the heart and soul of that offense.
Yeah. He makes things happen.
Yeah. And, how many teams in history...
that's a great question.
...have actually overcome... ...losing their starting quarterback mid-season?
Especially, in the thick of,
Yeah.
a championship run or something like that.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough.
I mean, you think about, Tom Brady when he went down with the Patriots.
Right, yeah.
They didn't win the Super Bowl that year.
Right.
So it's not...
It's a tall order.
It's not an easy thing to do. Right. So it's definitely going to be a test for Penn State.
It's going to be a test for Penn State. It's going to be a test for their backup quarterback, whoever that may be.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting to see, what kind of adjustments they make on offense.
Absolutely.
If Allar is out for an extended period of time.
Yeah. I mean, do they become more run heavy? Do they try to, simplify things for the backup?
Right.
There's a lot of questions that they're going to have to answer in the coming weeks.
It's going to be fascinating to see.
Yeah.
So I guess the big takeaway here is Drew Allar, Penn State's star quarterback.
Right.
Injured during the Wisconsin game.
Correct.
We still don't know the extent of the injury, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure.
And it really raises the question of, how much does one player really matter?
Yeah. Especially at the quarterback position.
Especially at the quarterback position. Can a team overcome something like this? That's something for you all to think about.
Yeah. Ponder that one.
Yeah. And we'll be back next week
Yes.
with another deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Until then.
See ya.